Hey guys, what's going on? Back again with another zombies video. As you see on the screen, I have some gameplay of Black Ops 4, the Chaos storyline that's in the background playing because there's some recent, I don't necessarily know if I want to call it clickbait, because I think a lot of the videos that I've seen, people have just basically labeled it as fan theory, and that's pretty much what it is. There's some new, I guess what they're calling leaked Black Ops 4 or scrapped Black Ops 4 storyline and map ideas that some fan had that I guess is trying to sell it as, fact, that stuff that happened in Black Ops 4. So I kind of want to give my take on it. Like I said, pretty much every zombie YouTuber has made a video and given their take or given their opinion on it. So I want to kind of do that on my own, with also trying to like clear some air, I guess, so to speak, or give some truth to it, or maybe where the origins of this supposed leak came from. And it's actually pretty interesting. So it's stuff that I kind of like that the zombie community does. The only thing I don't like is when people try and sell it as fact. But I think it's so outrageous that people have just, I guess, realized or caught on that it's, again, like just a fan fiction. And the number one rule that if you're not a content creator, if you're just in the zombies community, because like I mentioned, there's a zombies community, and then there's YouTubers on the other hand, streamers and YouTubers. There's two different categories, so to speak. Again, zombie YouTubers aren't really the zombies community anymore. They really just report and barely play the game and stuff like that. So the number one rule that you can kind of tell that something is fake um, is the fact that the big channels report on it, because a lot of the big channels do talk to the devs. It's no secret, they have each other's phone numbers. They're on each other's DMs and stuff like that. So because I have told them stuff that is 100% real and came out to be real, and none of them reported on it, because I mentioned the number one rule is no one wants to promote another channel. They're either going to steal the idea and not give credit, or they're just not going to cover the story altogether, because the fact is that everybody wants the inside scoop. Everybody wants the news first. Everyone wants to put out the video first and make the most money. That's nothing new. That's been around since Black Ops 1 and 2. People that had real inside information and stuff like that knew that people wouldn't cover it, or they wouldn't give them credit. They'll just steal the information. So the fact that a ton of zombie YouTubers, the big channels even, covered this story about leaked or scrapped Black Ops 4 content is the number one clue that I knew it was bogus. And there is some truth to it, but most of it is just, again, like fan fiction, somebody trying to piece together, maybe even stuff that I've said, because I told people, like, I'll tiptoe around stuff. I won't give the exact answers, because I kind of feel that it kind of betrays the devs a little bit, or maybe the devs just don't care at all. But I try and tiptoe around stuff, and I think then people try and piece that together, what I was hinting at, or what people that do know what goes on was hinting at. So again, with that just being said, first, the clues about knowing if it's real or fake. Number one, again, is the zombie YouTubers that cover it. The big channels are always going to cover stuff that they know is fake or bogus. Even, I don't know how they confirm it. If they confirm it, like I said, through the devs, through DMs, emails, calling each other and stuff like that. Because it's no secret, again, that the game and the devs need the big zombie YouTubers, even though a lot of them are toxic, if not all of them are toxic. But they kind of clarify stuff. They can probably email and DM them and say, hey, is this real or is it fake? And once they get the okay that it's fake, then they can report on it. Because like I said, I've mentioned stuff mainly on Twitter, maybe in a couple of videos cryptically, about what is coming, or what stuff means, or what stuff was based on. And that's the other thing too, which leads me into my next point is, if you're trying to figure out what was scrapped, what's coming, what's leaked, what was supposed to happen, or whatever, everything comes from pop culture. Even the chaos story, the ether story especially, Lee Ross has said it with IW, even Advanced Warfare zombies, even World War II zombies. Um, and yeah, World War II's. I think that covered all of them, right? They all come from pop culture. You just gotta know what movie or comic or book or poem, or even Broadway play they're based on. That's just the thing, the smoking gun, so to speak, that is missing now is people don't do the research anymore. People just want you to hand deliver all the answers to them. So what I think this person does is they might have saw a series of stuff on Twitter or YouTube and tried to piece it together themselves. More than likely, I think that's what happened because that Greek Antikythera mechanism, I've seen that on Twitter, on Treyarch's Twitter feed, people saying that they want a story about that. I don't know exactly, can't really remember pinpoint the time. I guess maybe during the Chaos story. I've seen that on Twitter a bunch of times. Now I know I probably am a little bit more obsessive than um, a zombie YouTuber, but I've seen that theory about the Antikythera mechanism being thrown around on Twitter literally years ago. So, like I said, it's just probably a fan. And again, it's nothing new. It's nothing groundbreaking. I'm not like, saying anything that people don't already know. People have realized they're caught on it. It was just a big fan theory that or somebody trying to piece together what was supposed to happen. So that's the first part that I want to cover is that Greek Antikythera mechanism that was used by ships in the old days, you know, to kind of travel. Because I even saw a YouTube video saying that the Antikythera mechanism was found on an island. It wasn't found on an island. It was found on a buried, sunken ship that they excavated from from the ocean or something like that, one of the Greek ships, and then they found like duplicates of it, I think, on an island or some other place, or maybe other places that were like maybe in the ocean. I can't remember. I know the original one was found in a sunken ship, in a treasure and stuff like that. So that part is true. As far as the origin stuff, like an Origins remake, what that comes from, the truth behind that, and I guess that's why I kind of decided to do this. Is I'm the one that kind of started that. So what that comes from, or maybe maybe it could be like a Treyarch dev saying, "Hey, maybe they like that idea. Let's test it to see if people are interested in seeing that." What the story is behind that is the fact that, again, you have to find the source. I'm not going to say what it is. The fact is, I don't know why Jason Blundell ended up splitting them, or maybe was going to mention stuff down in the end finally or something like that. But what that comes from is the fact that the Chaos Scarlet and the Chaos crew were at one point friends with Primus. I think Primus or Ultimus, one of the two. And again, what Richtofen and Primus have always done is backstab people. So they were both working together as a team, and this is all fact. It might sound crazy. Again, it doesn't matter. I always tell people I'm not trying to convince anyone. You either believe it or you don't. It doesn't matter to me. Most people aren't going to believe it anyways. Primus and Ultimus, I'm going to say Primus just for the sake of it, just to keep everything a little bit easier. Primus and the Chaos Crew at one point were friends. They were both looking for either the Chronorium or a book. And then Richtofen and the Primus crew backstab the Chaos Crew, and they ended up going their separate ways, and that's why their stories are separate in Black Ops 4. I don't know if Treyarch Call of Duty is going to ever maybe show the prequel, let's call it like the prequel story of Chaos and Scarlet and the Chaos Crew being friends, and maybe they'll show in the Origins, because that's where it came from. They were friends up until Origins, and then something happened at Origins, or let's call it the dig site, where typical movie fashion, that let's say you're both searching for like the golden ticket for Willy Wonka, and the golden ticket's laying there on the ground and only one person can happen. You can kind of see that in Lord of the Rings, where the ring is there, and then let's say they agree to destroy the ring, then at the last second, one of them, changes their mind, and that being Primus. Primus and the Chaos Crew saw the book there. Was it the book? I think it was the book. Might have been the book. Yeah, it definitely was the book. Saw the book laying there, and then Primus backstabbed the Chaos Story at the last second, and then they ended up going their separate ways. And could be or could not be. But I know in the Jimmy Zielinski version of everything, it was, or Jason Blundell story, everything, it ended up being Victus with the book. Victus was the one who gave the book to Primus Ultimate. So I don't know if it's going to be an Ultimate timeline. I don't know if it's going to switch out at one point. They're going to show how Primus. Well, they did show how Primus got the. I mean, they did show how Victus got the book because that was in the comics. But the original story, maybe it's another book. Maybe it's not the Chronorium then. Maybe it's the second book. But let's just say then it's not the Chronorium because the Chronorium story is over. So let's say that it wasn't the Chronorium. Let's say it was a second book or maybe some other relic. Basically, how it came about, or this fan fiction, is they probably misinterpret it. But what it basically is, Primus and Chaos Crew, Scarlet Crew, were at Origins or some alternate version of Origins, reimagined version of Origins, and they ended up agreeing to help each other, and then at the last second, Primus Richtofen backstabs Scarlet and the crew, and then takes the book or relic or whatever it is, and ends up going their separate ways. That's why the story is split in Black Ops 4. People always ask about that. Now, I don't know what the devs tell the zombie YouTubers, because there's the devs, they're the zombie YouTubers, and then there's people who do the research and find out what really the backstory is and where Treyarch is going with it. Because as a dev, you can't tell zombie YouTubers or people everything that's going on, or the origins of everything. For obvious legal reasons, they can't do that. So they probably tell the zombie YouTubers like an alternate version of what's going to go on. But what the truth about what was going to go on is the fact, and that's how Origins I guess got mixed up in this fan theory, is the fact that they were fighting in the Great War, and they were looking for a book or a relic, and then Primus ends up backstabbing the Chaos Crew, and they end up separating their ways. Maybe they would have done like a Black Ops 2 where they show, like, that's the thing too, where it makes a lot of sense, is the fact that if you look at Black Ops 2, Origins or even Revelation ends up showing everything that went on in the beginning. So they maybe would have done the same thing. Maybe in Cold War or another story, they would have shown how Chaos and Primus ended up fighting in the Great War, and then the cycle repeated, and they went their separate ways and stuff like that. So that's the truth behind the whole Origins and the whole fan fiction. Again, the Greek Antikythera mechanism thing, that's been thrown around on Twitter a bunch of times. Now, like I said, unfortunately, I'm probably a little bit more obsessive than anyone. That's probably how I'm more likely to solve and know what's going on than zombie YouTubers, because it's no secret, zombie YouTubers are just in it for the money. They don't play the game. They just hate on it. They just want to pump out videos and make cash. The whole idea is just to generate the most views, get the most money going on YouTube channels and videos, and that's pretty much it. They don't look at the backstory. They don't care about looking at the backstory. They've mentioned they don't care. They mentioned that they're lazy. They mentioned that they're not good at figuring out the story. They just want everybody to hand deliver everything to them. And again, the last thing, I'm just going to repeat that. You know something's bogus if a big channel reports on it. Big channels are not going to report on stuff that they know is real, or that they can confirm with the devs that are real. So that's pretty much it. I'll see you guys later.